Hey guys, Pat, Steve over here, Fellsmere Fishing Headquarters and FL Big Bass Adventures Guide Service. Do a quick fishing update. I know a lot of guys have been calling up asking about the lake levels and the water temperature. I can say that Garcia is plenty of water in it, and they haven't been moving much water. I mean, even though we have been getting some rain, which has been helping with maintaining the levels where they're at, but they haven't been moving any water that I know of. Definitely not pumping anything into Garcia, which then they wouldn't pump out of it, of course.
Right.
I do know that Garcia, the level is just fine. You could continue running that south shoreline, to get out to the lake. The channel on the east side, it goes north. That thing's wide open, so all the access is good. A lot of fish. I mean, last weekend we had 3 bags over in the 20s. We only had 15 boats, but 3 of the 3 bags were in the 20s, and then there were several, in the high teens. Multiple 6-pound fish caught. I mean, I think 6'9" was the big one, but there was a 6'6", a 6'4", and a 6'2".
Good fish.
All good fish.
Really good fish.
Really good topwater bite. Of course, it was overcast that day, but the early morning topwater bite's been great. Popping plugs, popping frogs. Spinner bait was a big deal. We caught a lot of spinner baits. A ton of shad out there in that pit. I mean, just a
big
ton
ones
of shad.
too, like big.
Yeah. I mean,
out there.
And they're just mounging out there. I mean, they're eating like crazy. The north end was a little bit stained up there. South end was beautiful water at the south end. I don't know why that water, but the north end up by the lightning shack is so dirty, but it's pretty dirty. Mid lake is decent, fishable definitely, but as you go south, it cleans up more. Other than that, Blue Cypress is fishing really good as well. I talked to Roy the other day. They're really catching a lot of fish on Blue Cypress. That water level is great too, he said. We've got our tournament out there this Saturday. Marisa and I will fish that one, so we're looking forward to that. If anybody wants to fish, it's an open tournament at Blue Cypress Saturday morning. Obviously, safe light. I think we're going to weigh in at 1. It's either 1 or 2. $40 entry, $10 optional big bass. So if anybody's interested in that. Captain Steve, what's going on at the big headwaters there?
Well, before I get into that, I want to get into a little bit of logistical stuff. Everybody knows that follows us and stuff like that, or follows me on Facebook and social media, that we do some free trips every so often. I put one out a couple 3 weeks ago for law enforcement personnel only. We've drawn out a winner for that. Well, actually, my son Knox drew that out a little bit ago. Not knowing any names or anything like that, he drew out numbers off the list, because I numbered each individual. So, and the winner of that is going to be Brian Loverboy Lovins.
Brian.
Yes. Congratulations, Brian. And Brian has been with the Clark County Sheriff's Office in the state of Indiana for as long as I can remember, probably close to 30 years.
Wow.
Wow. In corrections, and now on the road, and been on the road for a while and whatnot. But congratulations, Brian. I'll get a hold of you, or if you see this, you can get a hold of me, DM me or whatever through Facebook, and I'm looking forward to fishing with you. You'll enjoy it. We'll have a great time.
Yeah.
But man, Headwaters, man, has been good, buddy. From top water to moving baits to flipping mats, it's just all been good. The North Lake is dirty. It's the dirtiest I've ever seen.
Wow.
I mean, the dirtiest I've ever seen. The cleanest water I can find is south of the Square Pond right now. And I'll be straight up with everybody like we usually are, because we want people to come down and catch fish. That's where I've been doing a lot of my fishing. Is south of the Square Pond, and the flip and bite has been fantastic. It's been great. Some days you're going to catch bigger fish versus other days you're going to catch a lot of numbers and smaller fish. It's just like this time of year, and if you think something different, be sure to let me know. But I think from day to day, you may go out on a Monday and this time of year and catch numbers and smaller fish. You go out on Tuesday and man, you'll whack a heck of a sack of fish. Your big five's 25, 28 pounds.
Yeah.
It's just it's just day-to-day difference. And, you know, like I tell a lot of folks, you may fish a stretch or you may be flipping a stretch of mats on Monday and, you know, catch a handful of small fish. You go back Tuesday, flip that same stretch, you may have 25 pounds off of it.
Absolutely.
There's really no rhyme or reason to it that I can find other than maybe, some pressure difference or something like that. You know, those big fish, they just, you know, certain days they just feed more than others. But I know it's hot right now, but these fish, they're still biting. They're still eating. You got to come out, you got to put the time in, and you got to fish for them. For the locals around here, you know, it's a seasonal thing. So, you know, right now you need to be out there because they're starting to transition from that spring into the summer. So I've been focusing around deep water still. I'm going to start focusing more on the pit areas and stuff like that and fishing those perimeters around there. I know that that very southeast pit has been holding some fish up on the flats early, and then they'll transition out and they'll suspend out a little bit into the deeper water. But you get those suspended jerk baits and stuff like that, you're going to catch a lot of fish. You're going to get a lot of bites. I want to give a shout out to Donovan and Brad. I had them for 2 days. Man, they absolutely just wore them out. I think we got 2 PBs. Both of those guys got 2, personal best bass while they were here. We had a great time, and they just absolutely just whack them, man. It's been good fishing.
Yeah, you
it's
guys
been really, really good fishing.
You guys put a beating on them.
Yeah, and if you guys are coming down for vacation, something like that, and you're within reasonable distance of us, an hour and a half drive here to fish for 4 hours and catch fish from the time you stop to the time you're done, start to finish, that's a fun trip. And you can do it right now.
There's nothing like it.
Absolutely. Just get down here and see us, come by, we'll pick up some shiners for you and you go out there and just whack them.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, you mentioned the deeper pits, I guess, well, some people call it the fingers, the hill down there on the channel going to South Pond, or to the Square Pond. That's South Cove. A lot of people refer to it as the Banana Cove.
Yes.
Man, I tell you, we peeked in there yesterday, and that place is loaded with that shad.
Yes.
I mean, they're just plumb loaded, and that water is crystal clear, super clean. We didn't really fish it very, very much, but it's definitely a good. I mean, anytime in the summertime, that's a great spot. A lot of guys were asking about a couple of areas to fish, which you said a couple, but I just wanted to add that banana pond, Banana Cove, I guess they call it.
Yeah, I'm fishing there quite a bit as well.
Okay, good. But I mean, it takes
shine
there, but yeah. But it's just, we just had to stop. I told Mike, let's pull in there and take a look at it, and yeah, it was beautiful, man. I mean, all that shad in there, and you could just say we're feeding. Me and Mike were just ready to go, though. We didn't fish it.
There was a lot of big bass. So, in that pit, you got 23 foot of water in some of those spots.
I think 30 it hits at some point.
Yeah, and you have, I've seen with my own eyes while we're fishing that area, over that deeper water, there's giant bass jumping out of the water, eating giant gizzard shad in there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just out over 20 plus feet of water. They're just meandering around chasing bait out there. So, I'm telling you, get those moving baits, get those suspended jerk baits and fish the edge of these pits, and you're going to have a great time. You're going to catch some good quality fish. You're going to catch some pretty good numbers too, because they are feeding up really, really good right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Big time. And there's been a really good topwater bait in the morning. I know on Garcia for sure. I know a couple guys said Headwaters was even with the spooks. The spooks have been catching a lot of fish. The other thing I wanted to add was that we talked about it again about that afternoon fishing. I can't tell you enough, man. I mean, everybody that, even the bit of afternoon fishing, we do the Wednesday afternoon on Garcia, by the way, at 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. So if anybody's interested in that, that's open, $20 entry, weigh in at 8. So it's one big bass. And we do that every Wednesday. But the bite on the evenings have been incredible. I mean, 2 more guys that came in late yesterday evening and said it was unbelievable. They caught 40 some odd fish in 2 hours.
Man, wow.
6 to 8.
Yep.
So,
well, there's a whole different bite window in the late afternoon, evening. There's fish that are sedentary, you know, during the day, but they feed in the evening into the night.
Right.
And I think there's a different caliber of fish and a totally different wave of fish that eat at night.
Right. I agree.
And
I agree. It seems like the bigger ones to me. I mean, and Garcia, just well,
Yes.
that one night we heard it. I mean, the fish are. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not small. You can hear them surf. You know, eat stuff
yeah,
on the
and
surface.
and the bites that we had on those frogs was just, it was like
Looping.
a snook was coming out eating a topwater. I mean, just a big boil, like you're dropping a bowling ball in the water and it'll about rip the pole out of your hands. I mean, just super aggressive. It's a different fish. It's a different feeding time. And you know, those fish, I think they just get, different fish get activated different times of the day. You know, and you know, something else is too, I'm going to bring up real quick. The last handful of days that I've been flipping, I've noticed that, you know, shortly after daylight, you can hit the mats, you can catch some fish, you can catch some good fish, but it'll lull out at about 9:30 or, you know, 10 o'clock.
Right.
But man, come 1 o'clock, man, they start hammering again. I mean, that's happened the last 2 or 3 times.
Interesting.
You know, you hit that 1 to 2 o'clock period, man,
Right.
and they're just biting.
Beautiful.
And you know, you're catching good numbers. And I mean, it happened again yesterday.
Beautiful.
So, you know, there's a lot of different ways to catch them, guys and gals. So, you know, if you guys are interested, give us a shout. You can DM me, you can call the shop. And let's remind them again about, you know, hey, you know, there's a lot of folks that, you know, maybe can't afford a fully guided trip, you know. Call into the shop, talk to Pat, he'll get you on the list. We've already got a list going where you can split a trip with a guy or gal, you know, and we're trying to pair them up with how they want to fish. You know, they want to fish artificial or shiners or
4 hour, 6 hour.
Yeah, so you know, if you guys are interested in that, be sure to let us know, because we would love to get you out, get you the experience of being out there with us. And
Absolutely.
you know, it's just, you know, we love taking folks out and watching them catch fish, man. I mean, the guy I had yesterday, great fisherman, great fisherman. He did, I mean, a flipping machine, and you know, we were catching some small fish, and then he flipped way back in the mat and jacked a big one, and that mat just come apart, and man, I was giddy. I was like a little,
Yeah,
I was sitting there screaming.
Old Lake heard you guys. Should I say girls?
Yes, we were acting like a couple of schoolgirls on the playground, running around like, you know, wild children. So, but no, man, it was just fantastic, man.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun. So
Awesome.
But
Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, that's great, man. Captain Steve, we appreciate your time as usual, and thank you for the report. Guys, come see us, man. Let's go fishing, man. The bite is on. It's a little toasty out there, but man, I'll tell you what, they're chewing, and the big ones are too. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.
see you later.